Hey everyone, welcome in. It is Thursday at 3. This is Julie Maxon, the main stamper, and I'm here on a Thursday for something fun. I love to have fun on Thursdays. Thursdays are like my fun time with you. So thank you for joining me. I just want to do a quick promo. Today's class is brought to you by Hershey Kisses. I had to buy Hershey Kisses. Now, I'm going to just do a quick side note. So when I made this cute little project that I'm going to share with you today, the Pick of the Patch pumpkin treat holders. Now, I'm a last minute girl, so I, of course, created this project last night. Like, that's how last minute I am for today. And I was doing my photo shoot and taking pictures of the most adorable little treat holders, right? So I have my little treat holders. I had 0 Hershey Kisses in my house to put in these little treat holders. 0. Now, I am a chocoholic. I have all kinds of chocolate. I had no Hershey Kisses, and that's what fits in here. These are really designed for Hershey Kisses. So when I was at my office job today, I work next to a grocery store, and of course I stopped and bought Hershey Kisses so that as I share this with you, as I share this with you, make sure you're saying hi as you jump on. I love to see who's here. I can now create these treat holders designed to hold Hershey Kisses with actual Hershey Kisses, right? So this is the important thing. Not only do you need paper for this project, maybe a punch or a die, something cute, right? You need Hershey Kisses. This is what goes really good with our project. Hi, Sandra. Yeah, the chocolate, right? I don't know how I was out of kisses. Anyway, let's pop over to my workspace because we're going to, this is so cute and fabulous. We're going to check this all out. All right, here we go. I think I'm on my workspace. Let me double checking. Nope, I am not on my workspace. I didn't hit transition. Now, okay, there we go. Transitioning. Here we go. Pick of the Patch. So I have been working with Pick of the Patch this week. In case you saw my class on Monday, we did some really cute pumpkin-y type cards, right? I should have gotten my cards out. Let me review my cards really quickly here. So we started out our class with Cutie Pie. So you can see the pumpkins here. Really cute, and I went Flirty Flamingo and Calypso Coral, so kind of pinky instead of all orangey, right? And then we continued our class with what I called the Charlie Brown tree, which was really fun. And this one has nice yellows, and I did a color swap on Wednesday, and I showed you the same tree. Now these are sets, stamps from the same set. This is Pick of the Patch. So I used this leaf. This leaf right here, and I just filled in the tree branches with the leaf. So I stamped that leaf several times to create a fuller tree. So this tree doesn't necessarily have to always be a fall themed tree, right? So I showed you that you can change up your colors. My last card, which we're talking about a little bit today, is this very elegant. I adore this. I embossed a little bit white on white and did a little coloring. If you missed that class, it is available on replay. It's also over on YouTube, so you can check out Monday's class. But we continue this week with Pick of the Patch. And the best thing about Pick of the Patch is that it comes with a coordinating punch. Now this punch will cut out 2 pumpkins for my little treat holders here. I'm actually just using the bigger pumpkin, and I'm lining 3 of them up. Now, this is not my original idea. This is just my take on another demonstrator's idea where I saw that she lined up 3 of them. And in the past, I'm going to show you, these are a couple of my snowman kiss holders, right? So in the past I've done single Hershey Kiss holders. So I knew the concept of popping a little Hershey Kiss. I knew exactly how to make this base. And of course from there we're just decorating, right? So we're decorating. Now this happened to be a stamp and die, so I had to stamp and die cut these snowmen one at a time. So I had to die cut twice to get 1 treat holder. So these took a really long time. We are fortunate to have the punch for this one because it's so much quicker to punch out pumpkins than to die cut pumpkins. So I have 2 versions. I have the harvest version, and I have the Halloween version, and they're both a little bit different. Now my directions that you're looking at right here, this is in your newsletter dated today. So every Thursday you'll get the Thursday at 3 card recipe or project recipe of what I'm doing. So this one, I have the supplies and the project information to create the Harvest of Blessings because this was my original project. This was just an extra one that I did for fun because I wanted to try the little pumpkin-y faces, right? But I'm showing you that you can change it up. Now it's easier to see it right on the video. So this is the back side. And I deckled mine up here with some designer series paper rather than doing, front and back of the pumpkins. which I'm going to talk to you about. I have so many options. I'm excited to share options. Now this is an option, right? So you can put paper or you could just leave it. You don't have to put paper on the back. On this one I have the sentiment on the front. But on this one, of course, it would hide the pumpkin faces. So I flipped it over, and of course it still has cute paper, but I put the little sentiment on the back. And there is still the bottom. If you really wanted to write like a to from or a cute little note, you could even stamp something on here if you wanted to. And that's if you're using white paper. So again, I talked about options. We have a lot of options today. So let's get together and let's do this. This is so much fun. Now you're really, for the base of the 3 long, you need a 3x4 piece of paper. Now it doesn't have to be white. So mine are white. I just made white because I started out, and a lot of times when I'm experimenting, I'll just grab white paper rather than, you know, ruin color cardstock because I'm experimenting. Things go wrong when you're experimenting sometimes, right? So you need a 3x4. Instead of white, you can also do color cardstock, right? So this could be sitting on a triangle of color cardstock. So we're going to try that out actually right now, because you know I like to change things up and I like to do it live. So if I really screw up, I can be like, oops, oh dear, that didn't work. So what we're going to do, we have our 4-inch length right here. We're going to put this in our paper trimmer. We're going to score it at 1-inch intervals. So I'm going to just bring my scoring blade up. I'm going to score it at 1, 2, and then 3, because obviously if I went up to the last one, we'd be at the end of the paper. So I have 3 score lines in here. They may be kind of hard to see right now. I'm just going to bend them over, and you can burnish them a little bit with your bone folder. So basically we're taking our little folds here and we're putting 2 of them together, and you can see that we're creating a rectangular tube. So we've got this rectangle right here. And that's how easy it is to make the base. So we're going to just glue this one together. And the directions say to just pick an end. So it doesn't even matter which end you pick. You're just going to try to put some adhesive on one of the ends. And then you're basically going to fold this over back into your little triangle formation. And you're catching the front, the 2 ends basically are coming together. And I'm just going to hold this here for a second. Bone folder might work really good here to help to, you know, kind of push that down a little bit. So you can see that I just created an orange like tube, right? And this fits, I'm not kidding you, 3 Hershey Kisses. So this one has them in there. There's one here, there's one here. Now they're in here pretty snug, but if you push the end here, you're going to be able to pop them out. 1, 2, 3. Right, so 3 of them will fit in there really nicely, no problem. And you want them to be snug because you don't want them to be just falling out easily, right? When you hand this out, maybe this is a place setting at your Thanksgiving or Halloween table. You don't want them to just pop out, right? So you want them to be able to be snug enough in there, whereas you're moving them around, they're not falling out and your candy. It's not a piñata, okay? Let's just go with that. We want them to be in there nicely. So in the directions, and that's how easy it is to make the base for 3. Right now, if you wanted to do 2, you just cut this by another inch and you can make 2, right? You can make it bigger if you want. You can make it smaller if you want. In fact, I have one here that's a single pumpkin. Before we get this all put together, I want to show you how cute my single pumpkin kiss holder is. So there's a little kiss in there. Now on the single one, I did do a front and back. So you can see he's got front and back. And when I put this on here, I just made sure to glue the stems together and glue the leaves together so that they're all cohesive at the top here. It's almost got like it's almost like a little handle that you could pick up. You can do single ones as well. I like the 2 on the single. I felt like putting 3 on the back of here was just more than I really wanted to do. Now you could do it. Lining these up, the stems and the leaves is not the easiest thing to do, but it can be done. But I just really like the option of making it simpler and putting some designer paper on the back. I just thought it was super cute. So basically, you're just taking some scrap paper. You're taking 3 colors of pumpkins, and I know everyone was talking about different colors. I have orange calypso and flirty, and of course we have the biggest pumpkin here from our stamp set. So on your paper, you're just creating 3 pumpkins. We're going to do orange. This is pumpkin pie. This is the orangiest orange, right? The orange pumpkins. Actually grab out my cleaner here because we're going from color to color. And I want to make sure I'm not transferring one ink to the next ink pad. This one is, I wasn't looking. This one is Calypso, I believe. So there's the Calypso. Yes. And here's the difference between Calypso and orange, which kind of surprised me when I put them side by side. I thought the pumpkin would be a darker color, and actually Calypso is more of a darker orange-ish color, which, I mean, really, like, I was almost in shock when I saw them together. And then we've got Flirty, which this just gives us like a little bit of a more of a pink tone. But I really like this color palette. Now, of course, if you want to mix it up, you could do some Cajun Craze. You could do some, what other colors? People were talking about doing purples. You could do yellow for, you know, like yellow gourds. So I wanted to show you that as you're putting this into your paper trimmer, and you're sliding this in, obviously if you start with this pumpkin right here, you're going to ruin this pumpkin. So start with the pumpkin, start with a pumpkin at the end where you're not going to ruin other pumpkins, right? So you got to do them kind of in the right order. You got to slide it the right way to make sure you're getting your pumpkins punched out here. Oh, I did it wrong. So this is live. So there's what not to do, right? Do not do that, right? I should have gone in a different direction and I don't know what I was doing there. But fortunately, for the sake of these poor little pumpkins, I do have pumpkins already assembled and ready to go. So there is a what not to do. So it can be, you can actually mess it up, right? When you're using a piece of paper and you're punching across, pay attention to where your punch is going to punch. With the builder punches, if this was a single punch, that wouldn't have been a problem. But the builder punch will punch out anything in its path and be destructive, apparently, to all of those things as well. Now, when you're doing your leaves, your garden green leaves, we have this cute little stamp right here. Same situation. And I'm just punching along and not paying attention. So I'm going to pay more attention this time. We're going to put our leaves in, and I've made sure that my cardstock will come down here and be, you know, it will fit my little leaf section here. So there's one. And I have this guy over here, and this is where your scraps come in super handy. I have a huge bin of white scraps. And when I'm talking huge bin, I'm talking like my bin sits right here, just in case I need some scraps. Check this out, right? I have papers. A lot of these are the pieces that you trim when you're cutting your different size panels. I throw all kinds of them in here. So I'm grabbing these all the time for little things like this, where I just need scraps of paper, where I am doing these little bits like the leaves and the stems that are going to come up here in a second. So again, the stems are going to come through the long way. So as we punch our stems, they're going to come through this way. And I did the stems in copper clay. You could use early espresso if you wanted to. You know, you could change up the color of the stem. So again, keeping with the lineup of the punch, I'm just putting them in here just like this so that I can go through and punch them along. And not try to over punch from one to the next, right? So we're just going to punch those, and we're going to get our three little pumpkin-y stems out. And there we go. 1, 2, and 3, right? Now, if you didn't want to stamp, you could, of course, also just punch out cardstock that's copper clay or cardstock that's garden green, and then you don't have to actually stamp either. But this is what we've got when we're all said and done here. We're ready to go. I think I have another stem here somewhere, but regardless, I do have all of my little pieces here. Now I would just put a little bit of glue on the bottom of each of these little stems. This one keeps flopping over. And you always have the option if you want to put the stem at the back of the pumpkin or the front of the pumpkin. And for this one, he's going in the back. So I'm just catching my pumpkin and my stem together just like that. So you can see that if you were to line them up back to back, the stems kind of go in different directions. So you can make it look like they're, you know, front to back, but there's a little bit of a trick to it, right? All right, let's continue to make our cute little holder here. So I have a 1x3 piece of designer paper. So this is pumpkin pie. I've got pumpkin pie cardstock. Now you can choose to hide the seam, right? So there's always a seam on these because we glued them together. And actually that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put my adhesive on here. Look at my designer paper. It's always two-sided, and decide which side I like better. And then we're going to pop that on there. And that hides that seam much better now. So that seam is more hidden. And then when you decide which way you want to put your pumpkins, we're going to actually start by putting glue down on our little holder, and we're going to put our pumpkins down onto the glue here. And they're going to come off a little bit. So they're going to come off the end a little bit because 3 pumpkins is pretty long. So we have some length going on here, right? So we're going to put our orange one in the middle, and then we'll put some glue there. It's easier to glue the holder than the little pumpkin because you never know how much is going to stick off. So it's just easier to put the glue here and then add on the little pumpkin. And they're going to as you see, they overlap just a little bit too. So they overlap just like that. Try to get the glue off my fingers before I reach down and push that on there. Okay, so now we have our little pumpkins on here. And again, they come off the ends just a little bit. Perfectly beautiful. I did the Harvest of Blessings sentiment a little bit earlier so that it wouldn't take too long for this video. So I'm just going to notch one end. Again, this is just a scrap from my bucket where I have all these little white pieces of paper left over at all times. And I actually put this onto my treat holder with dimensionals. So whether you're using the big ones or the small ones, it will work. This is a piece of paper. This is like a 1/2 inch wide. And I started with 3 1/4. Actually, I started with a longer piece because I had the length, but 3 1/4 would be perfect because you're going to trim it down too. So Harvest of Blessings is just going to come along here and across the pumpkins, super cute like that. And obviously, as you can see as I'm building it, it gets cuter and cuter the more you add to it, right? Like it's okay right now, but you can tell that it's definitely missing something. So we're going to tuck in some leaves next, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the bottom of the leaf. And because these pumpkins aren't jammed together so tightly with glue, I can sneak a leaf in here. And then this leaf is actually sitting on the back of this pumpkin. And we're going to do the same thing with another leaf over here with our sign. This time I'm going to put it on the back of the leaf because the back of the leaf is going to come right here on this pumpkin, right up about here. And of course that takes a second to set up with the glue. Now if you have a glue dot, you could use a glue dot too. So we're still missing something, right? We need a little bit of twine. And the copper twine, the in color packs, right, worked perfectly. I didn't make a bow ahead, so let's see if I can make I'm going to make a bow right here on the spool. I'm not going to cut it. I'll just make a bow. So this is perfect because it's as I struggle to bow. Okay, so this is good twine, really, because it's thick and it has substance to it, right? It's not super thin. I did think about using the linen thread, but I thought, wow, that's kind of, the linen thread's a little bit thinner, right? So, and this is going to be a really big bow. Now, I think I'm going to put this on with some tear and tape. And of course, you could switch up your options. When I did the Halloween one, which is right here, and everyone's so cute, right? The gingham, this is the black and white that's in the annual catalog. It is not the black and vanilla that's in the new mini catalog, just in case you're wondering which one that was. It's kind of hard to tell them apart, but that is the black and white gingham ribbon from the annual catalog. And I just thought it was so cute with the pumpkins, that little black and white gingham. So all right, so I've got my tape on my twine, and I'm just going to manipulate the tape so that it's more stuck to the twine and not super loose. So I just manipulate that around. I'm going to put that on there. Super cute. I might have to trim this a little bit. Let's see if I pop this up here. So cute, right? So there you can see now that's on an orange base, right? I did this incorrectly. Another incorrect thing. This is alive. I'm like, whoa. This should technically be here. That's where I wanted my designer paper to be, not on the bottom. So I would cut another piece of designer series paper and I would glue that right there. Now these cute little patterns come from the designer series paper families. This happens to be the Brights because this is where the pumpkin pie and the flirty flamingo reside. So we're just going to cut a really quick 1 inch here because I'm pretty sure this is a 1x3 right now. And we're going to fix our problem, and then it's not going to be a problem. So sorry about the extended class time today because I apparently was just messing up a little bit here. I was so excited to come on and share this. There we go. Now, so there's another option for you, right? So you can put them on 2 sides if you want, and then have your little treat holder here. And of course you can load up your little Hershey Kisses. Now again, they fit in here snugly. So they're designed to, you kind of have to force them in a little bit. Think of your Pez machines, right? Those, remember, does everybody remember Pez, right? Where you kind of had to like push down, push in. They will load up. There's 1, 2. I think I got chocolate on the top of this. There we go. 3. There's my 3 little kisses in here. Super cute little holder. Again, this is another option. You can do a single. I really like the single too. I think the single is super sweet. And if you're going to do the faces, so the stamp set has a cute little stamp here to do faces. So if you're going to do Halloween faces, I just wanted to share with you a couple of quick tips. So when you stamp them, I stamp this with Memento ink. And if you need to fill in with a marker or a blend, in case your black doesn't come out super crisp and clean, you can just have either a blend or a marker on hand and just kind of fill in as needed. And then the second thing I did, I don't know if you can tell the difference between this one and this one, is I took a white jelly roll pen. You can get these everywhere, right? And I just put little dots of white in the eyes, and I just thought that it made it more friendly. So if I pick up this and you see the little dots of white in the eyes, it just makes it kind of cute and cheery. I feel like this is more of a scary pumpkin face. It's just all black. And so that's another little tip there as well. So there's a couple of ideas for you that you could use to change it up. Like you can totally change this up. Okay. Hi, Rhonda. Jess says she, knowing Jess, she said, I'd mess up several times. It happens, right? It's just basically being creative and recovering, right? So I showed you what not to do. And then of course we have tons of scrap paper. So I could have done more pumpkins, but I had some at the ready. So that worked out really well. So I hope you enjoyed this cute little tree holder. Now this is great for your, again, your place settings. It's great for little gifts for office coworkers. It's good for kids. I mean, you could make up some of these for trick-or-treaters, right? And it's just really cute. So you got a fall version without the pumpkin faces, and then you've got the Halloween version with the pumpkin faces. I know over on Positive Paper Crafters today, we are talking about, are you a fan of the harvest or are you a fan of the Halloween? Yes, Sandra, the gel pen really adds a lot. Yeah, just that little bit of white is really, I think it brightens it, makes it so much more cheery. So I love the little gel pen. So thanks, Rhonda. I'm glad you enjoyed. Yes, watch this again. This is super easy to make. I mean, really easy to make. If you have kids, grandkids or whatever, this would be fun for them to make too, right? Because they all like to get into the crafting. So that is it for my Thursday at 3. I hope you enjoyed this fun little bit of time with me, and I will see you again next Monday with another card class. If you have any questions on this, please leave them in the comments and I'll go back to you. And until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody.